Shandong WEDA Environmental Protection Machinery Company Limited is located in Linyi City, Shandong Province, the logistics capital of China, with superior location and convenient transportation. The company invests 160 million yuan, covers an area of 53,000 square meters, and mainly produces autoclaved, aerated concrete block and panel production lines. The products sell well in more than 20 provinces and cities and more than 50 regions in the country, and some products are exported to Russia, Vietnam, South Korea, India, Iran, Singapore, Australia, and other countries and regions. The company has all kinds of experienced mechanical processing personnel, follows strict enterprise and industry rules in material selection, cutting, drilling and milling, welding, commissioning and inspection. In the aerated concrete industry, the company has a professional technical R&D team with more than 20 years of experience, can provide professional and excellent technical guidance and equipment services in raw material testing, site planning, process guidance, equipment selection, production line design and installation, capacity improvement, and panel reform. With the rapid development of national economic construction and the promulgation and implementation of building energy-saving codes, the National Outline of Modernization Development of the Construction Industry clearly requires that by 2020, prefabricated buildings will account for more than 20% of new construction, and by 2025 will be more than 50%. Which means that the application ratio of new environmentally friendly, energy-saving wall materials in construction will definitely increase rapidly. The OC panel is an important wall system component in the entire assembly of building components. As one of the leading products of new environmentally friendly and energy-saving wall materials, OC panel meets the requirements of prefabricated buildings and can be used as the main body of the building. Wall materials such as inner and outer walls are a new type of energy-saving building materials with superior performance. Autoclaved aerated concrete material is more easy for use and has lower cost than traditional wall materials. It is eco-friendly, heat preservation, thermal insulation, fireproof, seismic resistance, and sound insulation. It is the highest comprehensive performance among wall materials. Because of its excellent performance, it will be quickly promoted and applied. Process flow introduction of OC block and panel production line. 1. Raw material preparation. First of all, materials such as sand or fly ash are added to the 4-bin hopper, which are measured by belt scale and then conveyed to the ball mill for grinding. The grind fineness needs to be more than 180 mesh, and then enter the slurry pool. The slurry pump will transfer the ground slurry to the slurry tank for storage. There are 3 tanks for new slurry and 2 waste slurry in slurry tank area. 2. Lime treatment. The lime block is added to the lime hopper for crushing, and then the crushed lime is lifted into the granular lime silo by a bucket elevator for storage and use. The whole process is equipped with a dust collection system, and the granular lime is ground by a dry ball mill to 200 mesh fineness, and then lifted to the lime powder silo for storage by elevator. 3. Steel bar mesh cage preparation. The coiled steel bars are straightened, cut, and welded by an automatic mesh welding machine. The welded steel mesh cages need to be dried and do anti-corrosion treatment before storage. After pull-out brazing, the mesh cage frame and steel braze need to be adjusted and cleaned to assemble into mesh cage. The completed cage frame is transported by the ferry car and the mesh cage frame conveyor to the plug-in station. The hoisting truck inserts and brazes the cast mold frame. 4. Ingredients pouring. After the precise metering, the materials are automatically proportioned. After being fully mixed under the high-speed stirring of the pouring mixer, the bubble carding machine, which under the pouring mixer, is lowered into the mold box. The bubble card machine vibrates and slowly lifts to even out the slurry bubbles inside. During the product panels, the cast mold box is transported by the pouring ferry car and transported to the plugging position through the friction wheel. The prepared mesh cage is placed in the mold box to complete the plugging and continue walking to the rest room. 5. Resting, turning, cutting. After the completion of brazing, the mold box is transported to the static culture ferry car by the friction wheel, and then transferred to the empty mold box through the high-speed static culture ferry car. The blank body undergoes the process of gas generation, initial setting, and hardening to complete the static culture. When producing panels, the blanks first go through the brazing process after exiting the static curing chamber. That is, the frame and steel brazing are pulled out from the mold. The unloaded frame returns with the saddle. After the brazing, mold is run to the demolding position. The blank is demolded by the flipping demolding machine and placed accurately on the positioning cone pin of the number 1 cutting trolley, and then the flipping demolding machine returns the empty mold box and the side plate to the return system, reclamp the side panels that have been cleaned up. After the mold is closed, the mold box returns to the mold box return track, and the next cycle of oiling and pouring is continued. The blank is firstly cut by the crushing knife, rough knife, and fine knife in the side cutting machine, and the groove of the plate is processed at the same time, and then the thickness of the plate and the block are accurately cut by the horizontal cutting machine. The cut blank travels under the vertical cutter for vertical cutting, and the vertical cutter frame, swinging cutting unit for the fixed type. The relative motion required to complete the cutting is lifted by the blank body, so as to ensure the durability and repeatability of the cutting. Among them, the vertical cutting machine adopts the Iraqi type design. After the number 1 trolley travels under the vertical cutting machine, the lifting frame lifts the blank and the bottom plate at the same time for cutting, and at the same time, the number 1 trolley returns to meet the next blank after demolding. The cut blank is transported by the number 2 trolley to the bottom of the semi-finished product handling machine. After the semi-finished product transporter is transported to the stemming curing car for grouping, the number 2 trolley travels back to the vertical cutting machine to prepare to accept the cut blank and the side panels. 6. Grouping into the kettle and pre-maintenance before the kettle. Before the kettle, the semi-finished product handling machine will transfer the blanks to the steam curing car and then transfer it to the pre-conditioned room by the shuttle bus in front of the kettle. And then the marshalling steam car will be dragged to the preconditioning room by the traction machine and wait for entering the kettle. 7. Out of the kettle, finished product breaking and packing. After the steam curing is completed, the autoclave is first depressurized and depressurized. Then, the ferry car that pulls out the kettle pulls out the steamed car and the blank body, transfers it to the carriage return track, and then transfers it to the unloading branch by the tractor position. The single mode blank is transported to the side plate return system by the product handling crane, and the side plate return system transports the blank to the splitter for splitting, and then continues to transfer the blank to the single under the mold fixture, after being sent to the stacking platform by the single mold fixture. The side plate is hoisted to the storage area for standby. When the plate is produced, the waste on the side plate is recovered and cleaned by the waste processing system. After the 2 mold blanks are pinched, they are stacked by a stacking platform. The dual die clamps transfer the stacked blanks to the block conveyor chain. The automatic packing machine packs the blocks in batches, and finally the forklift is off the assembly line to the finished product placement area. Integrity builds quality, and quality builds the brand. Under the guidance of the company's people-oriented technology leadership, quality win, and customer service business philosophy, WEDA Machinery continues to provide customers with better products and services. Relying on advanced product production lines and adhering to the spirit of craftsmen, WEDA Machinery will surely achieve one leap after another.